Let's do it live on a first Friday edition of the program. Merely Beau, the Great Z, sun shining, hot, warm, all that you would want.
Longest day of the year.
Yesterday, right?
No, not.
I thought it was yesterday.
It's supposed to be.
It was yesterday.
Okay.
What are we arguing with?
Yesterday.
This feels like one of those, what'd I do?
No, yesterday. The sun rose
Okay.
at 5:52.
Hold on, I'm writing it down. Okay.
The sun set at 9:02.
Okay. Which, by the way, like out west, the sun sets at like 9:50.
Yeah, it's great.
It's fantastic.
The West is the best.
9:02 is the longest day. That was it? That's
Hold
when we
on.
sat yesterday?
Today,
Okay.
if you look on your app, it says, again, I'm not up to
Who are
verify.
you to argue with AccuWeather?
But it says today the sun rose again at 5:52,
Okay.
and it's set at sets at 9:03. So that appears to be longer to me.
What are we doing?
So
Right.
why did we promote all day yesterday? It was
Because
the
I would
longest
bet-
day of the year.
I would bet it's supposed to be, but there's a leap year, right? So like you have to you catch up every 4 years. So I bet it'll catch up to the
Can you
21st
imagine
being the longest day.
Those damn Romans dreaming all this up.
It's amazing,
Like the
precision,
the
of
leap
it.
year
Yeah.
idea and all of
Totally.
this. Once every 4 years, and then
Right.
February's gonna. This day's gonna have
Right.
28.
So today we're in the quarters,
Wait, what?
obviously. So we're a little longer today, and then tomorrow it goes to 5:53, 9:03. So it matches and it stays that way until Sunday, and then in Sunday it drops a minute off of that pace.
That is fascinating play.
I looked
Fascinating
into this
play,
last
yeah.
night whilst I was on my zero gravity love seat with Miss K.
What
We looked this up.
fantastic!
It was great.
Fantastic. It's a nice little Tuesday night.
It was a wonderful Tuesday.
It's a nice little Tuesday night for you. Yeah. I feel like they lied to us, though.
Well, this is wrong all over the country then, because
Yeah.
every weather person in America has said this is the longest day of the year yesterday.
They're all wrong.
Summer solstice.
When I was in local television, the weather people always drove me nuts because they were always viewed by the local news producers as the most important because we got to have the weather every 10 seconds. Well, I don't know if that's still true because everybody has phones, so like who's sitting and waiting for the weather with all due
Correct.
respect. But the other thing that bugged me about it was like they didn't have to be right. They really didn't.
No.
I mean, they were, but also I would acknowledge, and many of them were my friends, that the prospect of what they were trying to do was infinitely hard. They were
Sure,
trying
sure,
to give a weather forecast representing an entire region.
Sure.
Like our market, if you do local weather at one of the local stations here in town, you're trying to forecast the weather probably as far as Sandusky,
That's what I was gonna say.
all the way to what? Almost like Erie, PA?
yeah.
Thereabouts,
about.
well past
Ashtabula?
Menor, Ashtabula, and then you're going as far south as Canton. Like you're going all the way to Canton. Like that footprint's too big, man. I've never understood why, and you've grown up here, maybe you could answer it. I've never understood why Akron, Canton, Massillon isn't its own market.
They used to have their own.
their
A lot of the
airports.
TV stations
Oh, their
had their
market.
own.
They should be. They
field
should be their own
office.
television market, though. No, everybody.
Yeah.
But like the idea that like what is happening in Cleveland is somehow what's happening in Akron, Canton, Massillon. No, not. Those are two very, very different
Because
things.
doesn't Youngstown have their own TV market?
Yes.
So why not
Youngstown
Akron,
does,
Canton?
Zanesville does. Toledo, Dayton, Columbus, Cincinnati, Lima.
You're right. You shouldn't be
Why
lumping
in the heck
everybody
did they
in.
lump all? And by the way, that's not necessarily be great for Cleveland because that would make the Cleveland market be like more in the 30s as opposed to I don't know what it is now, but when I first got into the business, it was in the teens. It's not anymore.
No.
But it was at one point. But a lot of it was because they had Canton, Akron. So I've never understood that. Like if I was somebody from Akron, I'm going, well, this isn't mine. No
Yeah.
wonder LeBron was pissed all the time.
Yeah.
Why do
This
I
isn't-
care
what-
what it's doing in Toledo
What do
right
I
now?
care about? That's right. You wouldn't. Like
Not
the
even
idea
a-
that somebody
not
in
even a
Canton,
little bit.
No, the idea that somebody in Canton would be like, "Oh man, look at we got some news. We got some news on the east side of Cleveland today." And somebody in Canton going, "Oh, what happened? Why would they care? It's ridiculous."
Great point.
It's far away.
I told a buddy of mine this was probably a decade ago, and he was working at one of the statewide cable things, and I said, "You know what you ought to do? You ought to put a news gathering operation in Akron, Canton, because no one's serving that, other than like the Beacon Journal, like in the repository. Like there's newspapers there
Yeah.
that were, but there's nobody digitally that's serving that because you can't have it. You're not going to care about the same things. It's too far apart.
I'll tell you what, when I go out to an AIW show, by the way, Absolution 15 coming up on the 23rd of July at
There's
the
the
Tadmore
plug.
This
Shrine
is the
in Canton.
official,
Look at this
the official
plug.
show of AIW.
God, it's great stuff. I feel like I am going, like I may as well be going to Pittsburgh. Like that's how
Yeah,
far
it's
it
a
feels.
different world. It's totally different. Yeah.
It deserves its own coverage.
Of course, you would never do that. You would never. I mean, the distance. It's not that much different driving from the west side of Columbus to Dayton than it is driving from certain parts of Cleveland to Canton.
No way.
And
Nobody,
they're totally different.
nobody lumps those two together.
Nobody does. Nobody does. But I digress.
I've never heard of Daybus or
Uh-uh.
Columpton.
Doesn't happen. All right, we signed a linebacker yesterday after the show. Last Chance U standout Dakota Allen.
Yeah.
From Texas Tech. Did you watch Last Chance U? I did not.
No. Played with 14 games with the Jags last year.
There you go. Texas Tech. I wonder where he was originally.
Stand by.
Which one of us can get to it first?
Welcome to June on Cleveland Browns
East
Daily,
Mississippi Community College.
No, that's Last Chance U.
Summer Creek High School, Texas Tech University. That's all it is. High schools.
Okay, here you go. Texas Tech. Let's see. All right, so he started at so he had offers from Texas Tech, Oklahoma, started at Texas Tech, and then went to East Mississippi. So that's the Last Chance U part of it.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is usually what happens. There was, something during his
Off
time
the
at
field,
Texas Tech
yes.
off the field, and then this leads to on to your Last Chance U, and that leads you to East Mississippi Community College.
2017, 92 tackles, 12 tackles for loss, 6 forced turnovers, named to the All Big 12 team by Pro Football Focus, second team All Big 12 by coaches and media. Last year, senior year, who was first team All Big 12. He was a 7th round pick.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, 7th
He
round.
started at Texas Tech, went to East Mississippi, and then ended at Texas Tech.
But after that, he had
That doesn't happen very often.
No.
he received scholarship offers from Bowling Green and Troy due to his off-the-field arrest. Allen later received offers from Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Marshall, but opted to return to Texas Tech to finish his collegiate career.
That
So
never happens.
he
Where
could've-
you
No.
leave someplace and then go back to said
And then
place.
you're welcome back.
And welcome
It
back.
takes
pretty
two
remarkable.
to tango there.
drafted by the Rams in 2019, 7th round. Then went from them to the Raiders. Made his NFL debut against the Bears as a member of the Raiders, playing 8 snaps on special teams, waived on October 30th, claimed back by the Rams to their practice squad. This is all in 2019. Then he was signed by the Jags off of their practice squad, replaced starter Miles Jack in Week 4 of the 2020 season. In 2020, played 13 games with the Jags, started 2, played mostly on special teams, 14 tackles, 4 special teams tackles, and 3 tackles for loss that season. Signed exclusive rights tender with them in 2021, and the Browns signed him in 2022.
There you go. There you go.
6'1", 220.
A little bit of depth in that room right now,
Yeah.
in that linebacker room, as we'll be in camp here in a matter of no time. I think, unfortunately, at this point, like right now, I can feel the squeeze.
No.
Like I'm excited for football, but I'm not. And no, I'm not.
No.
I'm not.
We've got next week.
No.
We've got the 4th. We've got, and then there's still like even after the 4th, you still have like 3 weeks.
Yeah, you
I
got
know,
3
but
weeks.
it's still
weeks,
it's
really.
going to go quick, and then before we know it, we're going to be out there, bucket hats, living our best life in the heat.
Oh,
That's
baby.
coming.
By
That's
the
coming.
way, you're on the list. You're on the list. For,
We'll
for-
see.
No, you're on the list for a bucket hat.
We'll see. This is
No, you are.
absolutely surreal today, what is happening on Capitol Hill. So Roger Goodell was called to Congress today. Daniel Snyder was as well. Daniel Snyder said, "No thanks. Don't believe I will. I don't believe that I will."
His
show
boat
up."
is docked in
Well,
a port in France.
He's in France. Yep. So that's the way that goes. I don't know the jurisdiction that allows for or why this is all happening. I'm not sure why it's all happening. It's the House Oversight Committee that's looking into it. The chairwoman on it is Carolyn Maloney, and
This thing has become a debacle. I mean, it is.
was it ever not? I mean, it was.
I don't know, but this.
I'll tell
I've
you
been
what,
rolling
Jared.
on it. There aren't enough There's
not
not
enough
enough time to play the number of clips that have
Okay.
come from this debate.
And I think we have to have a disclosure here. I don't even know what some of these people's politics are, nor do I think it matters. I think they're all incompetent. But here is the you're going to hear some of this. You wonder why nothing gets done? Here you go. You're about ready to hear it. All right, so let's start with Carolyn Maloney. She's the chairwoman of the House Oversight Committee, and she has a very strong lesson here in regard to Dan Snyder.
This is the
Let's
biggest
listen.
piece of news.
This
from
is
the
the most newsy, yeah.
Madam Chairwoman, I do not have any responsibility for whether he appears before Congress. That is not my choice. That
Okay,
is his choice.
let me stop you right here. Mr. Snyder has not been held accountable. His refusal to testify sends a clear message that he is more